It's been a hot summer and a hot summer for sports too. We begin our look at sports with the Bronx Athlete of the Week. This installment goes to a Brooklyn hoop star making good here in the BxNet star. We'll see for how long. Kevin Durant built a basketball court here in the borough recently. The Kevin Durant Charity Foundation, KDCF, completed its 26th basketball court in the Bronx. So far this year, new courts were also finished in Harlem and in Brooklyn. In addition to building courts in the Empire State, the foundation has constructed other courts in California, Texas, Washington, and Oklahoma. Internationally, KDCF has built courts in Taiwan, Germany, China, and India as well. Hoping that the Nets and Durant work things out, rumors swirling lately that he could be heading to the Boston Celtics. Boston, of all places, my goodness. KD headlines here at number 5. Meantime, speaking of notable Bronx basketball courts, the Hoops in the Sun All-Star Weekend was a hit. It always is. Sunday culminated with the annual All-Star Games, including the men's matchup, which saw Bolden Mac from Long Island take on the Hits All-Stars at Orchard Beach here in the Bronx. Hits, All-Stars, top, Bolden Mac. Visit hoopsinthesun.com for more. The Judge Report. The Judge Report comes in here at number 3. Aaron Judge has shown little signs of stopping as he continues to hit mammoth home runs for the Yankees. He ended the week with 37 dingers in 97 games. Now let's do some math here on the show. Expand that out to 162 regular season games. He would hit 62 home runs on the season. Projections are calling for 57 since it might be tough for him to keep this pace and, of course, playing all of those remaining games. 57 to 62 keeps him on pace with challenging Roger Maris for the Yankee record of home runs in a season at 61 in 1961. Number 37 came in the third inning of last Sunday afternoon, 6-0 win at Oriole Park in Baltimore, 456 feet. Yankees take 2 of 3 from the O's. In at 2 on a hot, sunny day in London, thousands of baseball-hungry fans dressed up in all of their favorite baseball gear traveled to Crystal Palace Park to watch the Yankees outslug the Red Sox in the final round of the first FTX MLB Home Run Derby X. Our buddy Nick Swisher leading the Yanks past the Red Sox like old times. Check out MLB.com for more on this story. Baseball growing internationally. You love to see it. We'll connect some more legends here in this story, too, with the annual Baseball Hall of Fame inductions. Boston legend David Ortiz headlined a class of 7 last weekend in Cooperstown. Among the 7, longtime Yankee broadcaster Jim Cott and the late Brooklyn Dodgers and Mets great Gil Hodges. Congrats to the latest class to join Cooperstown. And at number 1, our motorsport recap. IndyCar was in Iowa for a Saturday and Sunday doubleheader last weekend. Pato O'Ward won on Sunday. It's the second win of the season for the Mexican driver. He finished second on Saturday and remains firmly in the IndyCar title race with 5 races remaining on the schedule. Meantime, in a stunning turn of events in NASCAR, Chase Elliott has been declared the winner of last Sunday's M&M's Fan Appreciation 400 after Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch were disqualified following failed post-race inspections. Elliott also won the Superstar Racing Experience, SRX for short, season finale last weekend with our friend Marco Andretti holding on to win the championship. Marco wins by 2 points over Ryan Newman. Newman, of course, won the Stafford Speedway feature during our coverage earlier this month in Connecticut. Afterward, Andretti told CBS Sports that he'd broken his wrist in the incident-packed race, but forced himself to ignore the pain. It was painful to see Charles Leclerc in Sunday's Formula One finish in the French Grand Prix, especially if you are a Ferrari fan. Leclerc's unforced error leaves his F1 title bid in tatters. He simply lost his Ferrari around a corner late in the race after winning pole and pretty much sitting pretty in France. The mistake means Leclerc is now 63 points adrift of Max Verstappen in the championship with 10 races remaining on the calendar. Max won the French GP for the second straight year. It may have been tough to get to France to see Formula One style cars, but New Yorkers and Bronxites had a chance to catch some amazing open-wheel machines in Brooklyn recently, thanks to an annual street course courtesy of Formula E. More on this story in my C-list. Stay tuned. Street courses are, the in thing pretty much right now when it comes to motorsports these days. NASCAR this week announcing a Chicago street race on tap for the 2023 Cup Series. That race weekend will take place July 1st and July 2nd, 2023. NASCAR provided media an animated look at what Chicago will look like. Check this out. Woohoo! So cool, awesome. We've clearly moved well past renderings. We shift gears to the back end of 5-on-5 for a look ahead. We'll stick with racing. F1 has the Hungarian GP Sunday morning at 9 a.m. here in the States. IndyCar and NASCAR are back in Indianapolis for the now annual triple header Saturday and Sunday. Great racing coming up from the Brickyard. And in motorcycle racing, next up is the MotoGP British Grand Prix on Sunday, August 7th at Silverstone. MotoGP will be coming off its summer break after this weekend. Coming off the Subway Series in Queens, Yanks continue their home series with Kansas City tonight in the Bronx and throughout the weekend. The Mets are in Miami this weekend. Prior to the Yankee series earlier this week, the Amazons played San Diego at Citi Field. That matchup featured Padres pitcher Nick Martinez, formerly of Fordham and Rose Hill, right here in the Bronx. That takes us to the fourth spot for a look at New York City FC. The Major League Soccer team from the Bronx will be in Montreal Saturday night. That game gets going at 7:30 p.m. And at 5, on the back end here of 5-on-5, on this date in Bronx sports history, we flash back to July 29, 1966 at Comiskey Park. The Bronx Bombers edged the Chicago White Sox 2-1 on Mickey Mantle's 14th homer in 24 games. Mick moves ahead of Yanks great Lou Gehrig into 6th place on the home run list with the blast. It was Mantle's 21st of the season. Al Downing goes 8+ innings for the Yankees to pick up the win. The Yankees are, however, in the unaccustomed territory. This is their 47th win that year versus 52 defeats. Not the best of times for championships for the Yanks in the late 60s. The Mick, of course, being one of the few bright spots for the Pinstripers. To the C-list for a bright spot for race fans here in the Big Apple. It's always a treat for us to head out to Red Hook every summer for the annual Formula E Showdown in Brooklyn. It's the only race of its kind in New York City, and honestly, it's a chance to see the future on display. Formula E's founding mission is to race through the streets of the most iconic cities in the world with a grid full of the best racing drivers and teams around to show just what sustainable mobility is capable of, driving electric vehicles in a race for a better, cleaner future. Antonio Felix da Costa secured his team's first victory this season with a convincing win in round 12 in Formula E. The winning driver called New York City Formula E's version of F1's Monaco, adding, open quote, "It's such an incredible city," close quote. Here's more.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure about my pace in the race. I think we had decent pace, looking at a little bit of the yesterday's race, but these guys are so quick right now, and everyone's so close to the limit that it's you need perfect driving, no mistakes, and that's so hard to do.
For the first time in 8 seasons, Formula E's Brooklyn E-Prix doubleheader event was a sellout on both days. Rain shortened the action on Saturday, but Sunday's finale made up for it. Sadly, the future of the New York race is in limbo, at least for next season, with construction due in that part of Red Hook. When Formula E released the schedule for next season, the city was not listed. I'm hopeful it does return next year or even the year after. It's an electric time here in the city. 4 races remain in Formula E this year, starting with London this weekend. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C.